Hi everyone, I'm BD Knight, and welcome to the first DC-Cember. Much like other December-themed content on YouTube, I'm doing a countdown on various DC media. For this year, I'm doing top 10 villains of the DCAU. I would have gone with just DC in general, but that would take a lot more research. And honestly, the DCAU has created the most memorable and iconic versions of these characters. Joining me today are James Strecker and Ted Kendrick of the Watchtower Database.
Yay.
Hello, Brian.
Now, just to cover with the rules with this listing, this has been a voting system between the three of us. As far as for each category, it's based on a villain's unique skills, personality, origin, as well as, of course, their impact on the DCAU and other material before and afterwards, as well as their motivations. And lastly, for each show's list, it's only going to be villains that appeared only in that show. So like for Joker, he's only going to be in Batman the Animated Series list, not in Batman Beyond, despite his amazing re-entrance in the movie.
His return, you might say.
Also, groups and collective villains can count as one entry. So besides Gorilla Grodd, we'll also have like the Secret Society, as well as with Project Cadmus. Now, this list is purely subjective. This is just based on our collective opinions, so feel free to comment on any that didn't make the final cut. So now, let's begin our DC-Cember with Batman's Rogues Gallery, with number 10, Scarecrow.
I am fear incarnate. I am the terror of Gotham. I am the Scarecrow.
I have to say, for Scarecrow, definitely had a bit of rough go, but I say eventually he became a little more iconic, especially in TMBA.
Yeah, you can't beat that look in the new Batman Adventures with the zombified trench coat. He looks sort of Children of the Corn aesthetic.
Yes, he looks way cooler in New Batman Adventures, but all 4 of his TAS episodes are just like either way too goofy or trying to be scary, but he looks too goofy, or just the plot or the animation is really bad or something. So I don't have a good takeaway from Scarecrow.
In TAS, one of his scariest moments, I think, was in Trial, when they're running up the stairs.
Yeah,
he's just there at the top.
Yeah.
And
he barely
didn't even say anything, but he's there.
His coolest thing in the whole DCAU is knocking Batgirl off a building, and that didn't even actually happen. So.
Right. That's why he was impactful, because that is a really impactful episode. It's definitely one of the, I think that.
But they could have been anybody. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess he's as the fear gas, but whatever.
I mean, Mad Hatter could have probably done something.
He's got the dream helmet for Batman.
Riddler could have made a VR sort of world where, you know,
See,
it's all,
anybody
all
could
like
have done it. Joker could have put his DNA in your neck.
True.
I mean, in a chip. Let's continue.
Yeah, although it's safe for Scarecrow, I think his best use of fear gas was probably in Dreams in Darkness.
Yeah, that's the spookiest one and the best directed episode of his appearances, I think.
Yeah, very Batman Begins-ish.
I feel like Scarecrow would have been more impactful if the Bat embargo hadn't kept him out of the Secret Society in the last season of JLU. Scarecrow is like a classic member of the Legion of Doom. So seeing him working with like Luthor and everybody, I feel like would have been a nice callback to that.
The best episode they did with Scarecrow is probably Never Fear, not just with the design, but also with non-fear gas, I guess you could call it, where it could take away people's fears, like whether people facing their fear of heights while endanger lives, or worse, a hero without any moral code, like Unhinged.
And Jeffrey Combs just stepped up that character once he took over the voice. Really elevated it.
Wasn't given enough time, but at least we got him back for Question. I would say that Scarecrow as a Batman villain in general should be higher on the list, but from the DCAU, I think he's placed properly as a unfortunately lower end guy. He didn't get his time to shine, but he's still cool, I guess.
They will learn the true nature of horror.
Now for number 9, the Riddler.
You know what happens to gate crashers? They have to match wits with the Riddler.
Unfortunately, the Riddler did not have that big of an impact compared to other villains as far as with Batman goes.
It's because in the new Batman Adventures, he got so downgraded. He looked stupid. He wasn't in a focused episode. Like, he's always just kind of in the background henchman. He's in nighttime. That might be his the most screen time he gets in the new Batman Adventures.
Yeah, and Judgment Day, he says, "Hey, diddle diddle, time for a riddle," and then immediately gets wrapped up in a chain before he can even finish his sentence.
There's
and
that,
then he's
yeah.
gone. He has a way better arc in the Batman Adventures Volume 2 comic than he does
Yeah.
in New Batman Adventures, or than any of the shows, but
He tries to reform,
Yeah.
but he can't fully.
Riddler barely does anything, and both of his episodes are the exact same plot. He puts Batman in a big game or else a guy will die.
I liked those though. Those were some of the first episodes of the anime series I had ever seen. Were the first two Riddler episodes, and just the design of the Riddler with the boiler hat, like his greens and purples, like the way that he was designed for the original series. He looks cool.
Visually,
and there's a lot of
that's really good. Yeah.
a lot of cool, creepy, like silhouetted shots of the Riddler where he's I don't know, the darkness, and it gives him this really creepy vibe.
Yeah, they did a good job with that. Though his origin, it's pretty standard as far as their bat villains, because it always seems to be some kind of revenge against their boss, whether it's justified or not. But I agree, the Riddler's Reform probably is best one, because here we get to see with his building obsession with trying to best Batman, and how like his only reason for reform is just to fool people, because he wants to be the smartest in Gotham. But it doesn't matter if there's always Batman.
Right, and I wish that they made that more obvious. Like, going back through these episodes recently has helped me remember a lot of these ones that I don't usually revisit. Yeah, it's like that's intended to be what you're supposed to take away from it, is like, even though he leads Batman to him on purpose with his riddles, it's because he like hopes that Batman is like he's finally outsmarted him. But that's not necessarily emphasized well enough in the writing of the episodes, and he just comes off as like kind of stupid. Like, why did he lead Batman everywhere? He could have just led him somewhere that was the wrong place.
It's a compulsion. He can't help it.
I was saying that like I think the perfect Riddler lies somewhere between Jim Carrey's goofy, jokery, he's just insane and doing riddles to fuck with Batman, to mess with Batman, or the Batman version where he's like the Zodiac killer, just intentionally leading them astray and murdering people and all this stuff. I think somewhere in the middle is where the B-Test Riddler is intended to be, but he kind of slips too far.
Like Jigsaw from Saw.
I mean, I guess the Arkham Riddler, the game Riddler, is probably the best interpretation.
Yeah, Riddler had a very unique persona where he was like a very suave game show host. Like, he may be condescending, but in B-Test he was definitely a very polite, condescending egomaniac.
I do visually prefer the B-Test Riddler to any of these.
He looks cool. And John Glover's a great voice for him. Yeah.
Even though he doesn't remember any of the voice sessions, but
it was the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
We're going to make a killing.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, as tomorrow we'll continue with our list for the week. Also, be on the lookout for the upcoming Multiverse fundraiser on January 20th to the 22nd of next year. And click on the link to check the newest series, Anonymous, at their website and see its first 2 episodes for free. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, as more will come on DC-Cember.